How's it feel to be back in the mountains?
It's nice. The clear water is very reminiscent of home and peace. The sound of the river. This is our secret spot that we have come to ever since the floods in Calgary many years ago. It's like an old campground that they closed the gates on because it got washed away, but there's still just this beautiful spot by the river that no one ever comes down to, so you can just hang out here and kind of be in the mountains next to the river, take a dip, and just have that peace and not be bothered by anyone or anything. It's so cold. Welcome to Canada.
I feel like I am refreshed by
Thank you.
I'm refreshed by the relationships that we have here, and just feels good to be back and with people that just love us and care about us and want to know about kind of our journey so far. So it's been really nice to just be able to reconnect with people, and that it's also not super cold. It's actually really, really nice weather here still.
The fact that we are able to jump into a river in mid-October is unheard of in Canada most years, so it's pretty incredible. And I think we only have one more day left of really nice weather, and then it's gonna get cold, so it is very fortunate for us to be here right now and get a little taste of post-summer warmth in Canada. I think it's been really nice to be back and part of our spiritual community as well. We were just talking on the drive here, it's really difficult to change your life in all these ways and live in Thailand and do what we're feeling like we're called to do, what our passion is and where our happiness lies. There's just so many changes in that, and so many just different dynamics that we have to contend with and try to adapt to while we're doing this. And I think it's really nice to come back and get a bit of a grounding in a lot of ways and talk to the people that really know us best and feel like, okay, we're not just on our own doing this, that there is some sort of spiritual calling for us to do what we're doing, and that God is really putting this all in front of us and really offering us these gifts and these opportunities to learn and develop. And ultimately we don't know where that's going. We don't know the future, but we know our passion and what our hearts are calling us to do. And we're just following that right now and letting that take its course, which can be a really hard thing to do because, we don't have a 5-year plan. We don't have a 1-week plan most days. We're really just winging it. and trying to get the learning and experience from those moments. So I think it's already, we've only been home for a few days, and I think it's already making us think of like what we're going to do differently when we get back home, what things will be like when we're back in Thailand, and how do we incorporate more of our spiritual fulfilling lives into what we're doing on the farm and our daily lives in Thailand. Yeah.
I think being back here has given us a different and needed perspective on what we're doing. One of the things that I was feeling just as we were kind of leaving Thailand and in the last like few days that we spent before coming back to Canada was just this awareness that really my focus has been so much on just like physically, earthly, like what we are doing. What are we planting? What are we planning? What are we doing on a day-to-day basis in a very earthly sense? And knowing that there is like a spiritual reality and dimension and layer to everything that we are participating in that I really just haven't had the same like awareness or cognizance of. And I think being here is just like highlighting that and feels like it's going to be a little bit more of like the reinforcement of that like spiritual reality, because our community here is largely like a spiritual community, a Christian community, people that share those spiritual beliefs with us. So I feel like I'm gonna be taking these like next few weeks to just be like filled up with that and wanting to like carry that forward and taking that with us, so that just like spiritual perspective is more present and like permeating our day-to-day and just our perspective even on what we're doing.
We want to be authentic and truthful about who we are and what we believe and why we're doing what we're doing, because without that it really doesn't matter. Like watching two people make a farm in a different country is one thing, but having a motive behind it, I think, and sharing that with you guys is a deeper level of connection and allows for people to actually experience us and know us and connect with us. And that's ultimately what we wanted with this channel to begin with. I think it's intimidating and it's hard sometimes to be truly authentic in an online space, especially with a place like YouTube, which is very catered to, like, there's certain ways to do it right. There's certain ways to gain a lot of views, there's certain ways to gain a lot of popularity and please the YouTube algorithm and the YouTube audience. And we started off this journey kind of doing that, doing something we were passionate about, like travel and food, seemed very easy for our channel and gained a lot of popularity and views immediately, which was gratifying, but also within that it wasn't completely genuine. And I love food. Like, I love food, but I love just enjoying food and enjoying food with the people I love. And it's hard to really have that authentic experience while trying to film everything and make like a YouTube video out of it. It's much more complicated. We're hoping to shift our video creation and our channel in general to be more authentic of what we really believe is of importance in this world. And to be honest, it's not food. It's not indulging in the cuisines of different cultures. It's something deeper than that. Food is very important, but healthy food is the most important. And in our modern culture, we don't have that. Like, we don't have it. That's ultimately not what we set out to do. We set out to get back to the land, get back to nature, and really rediscover what it means to be human in this day and age. And I think we live in such an important time because we've lived in this technologically innovative age for so long. You know, people of our age and younger and older, they can all attest to remembering a time where technology wasn't so integral in every part of our lives. But now it is, and almost to a detriment. Like, we have a hard time enjoying just the moment and the people around us and the outward experience of life, and also miss that inward introspection of our own lives and our own abilities and our own learning and growing. So I think now is a really important time because I think people are starting to look back to, well, why were humans so successful for so long, and now we seem to be so sad and so depressed and so, like, ill in so many ways. Even when we have, like, the most technology we've ever had, we're so interconnected with everything. How does that combine? How do those two things exist together? And I think now is the time where people are going to start looking at how can we integrate all of the things that our forefathers, our grandfathers, our grandparents, many generations before us, all the good things that they did for the land, for themselves, for their health, and how can we integrate that with this new technologically innovative world and combine those things to create something better for both of us, something better for all generations. And that's really what we want to be a part of. So I think that ultimately is our goal. And we don't know what that looks like moving forward, but we know that right now we're in a learning stage, and we've been given a gift from God to have this piece of land and have this farmhouse in Thailand to really experiment and learn all of these, like, old practices of how do we make good food? How do we make good connections with people? How do we live in the moment? How do we live with the seasons? And how do we integrate that into the modern world? Because we don't want to go back to the Stone Age. We don't want to go back to, agricultural age where we're just farming food to survive. We want an integration of both the connection and all the positives of technology, but also the benefits that come from living in a biodiverse and healthy world that comes from connection with human lives to the land that they live on and the country that they live in, and the seasons that they go through. How do we combine those things to create a great world moving forward? And I think that's what the world's looking for right now. I think even if people don't know it, that's what we're looking for, is connection to each other on a personal level, doing away with our anxiety and fears about being close to other people and sharing ourselves with other people, because we're so used to doing that in an online way, in a superficial way. Really valuing the work and the, like, complexity of nature in its, like, rawest form. Just having the ability to grow vegetables and eat healthy vegetables, non-GMO vegetables that are local and grown for that region, and helping keep that biodiversity. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said about the education of where our food comes from these days, and I think that's one thing that's not taught to us. That's something that we have to seek out and learn and observe in our own lives, but we're so used to the expedience of going to the grocery store and being able to get whatever we want, out of season, grown in whatever way. It doesn't matter to us. We just know that we want a banana or an apple or, a piece of meat. But we don't think deeply about where that came from, how it exists, and why it exists at this time of year. Even though bananas don't grow all year long. Like, we have many banana trees on our property, but there's about 6 to 8 months of growth and fruiting that needs to be done before we can harvest those things. So we don't have bananas all year long. We have bananas when we have bananas, and we enjoy those things when we have them. I guess it just brings to mind, like, how do we change where we're going? How do we change our expectations of the world? And do we truly want what is always expedient and what aligns with our desires in the moment? Because in truth, I think we have to ask ourselves the question, are our desires really the most important thing? Or are we a bit selfish? Are we a bit narcissistic? Are we a bit, do we just want what we want because we're used to having what we want? And do we really need those things? Do those things provide us happiness? Or is there something else that provides us more fulfilling sense of, you know what, I grew these bananas, so I'm happy that I have them when I have them, and it's okay that I have them when I don't have them. I'm looking forward to new bananas, and that brings an anticipation and an excitement and a gratitude for when we have them. But when we don't have them, it's okay too, because we have other things, and we can grow those things. I don't think that everybody in the world has to be a farmer or has to live off the land, but I think it's our idea that we need to live in community, in where people that have a desire to farm, have a desire to raise livestock, have a desire to keep bees and grow vegetables and produce ferments and make pickles. If all those people exist together, then there's plenty of people that have desires to do something more, or raise children, or take care of children, or teach people. When we work together in our own passions for the world, I think not only do we thrive, but we set up the generations of the future for success in this world. A success that is not fleeting or dependent on the current system, but a success that transcends those things and leads into a spiritual satisfaction and a deep fulfillment of your life in this world. Sorry for ranting.
Wow.
Let's do it. Ultimately, it's really nice to be back home. I was dreading it in my mind for a long time. Not because of, I don't know, I think
You're just dreading the cold.
I was dreading the cold. It was very, very nice to get used to tropical weather.
Yeah.
And it's pretty beautiful here. It will get cold. We will experience the cold. But I think maybe dreading, like, having to face the kind of people we were when we were here, or kind of lives that we led when we were here. Because ultimately we weren't following our hearts. We weren't doing what we wanted to do. We were checking off boxes and being successful in our own ways according to the world here. But we knew that that really wasn't what we wanted out of life, and we knew we wanted to make some sort of impact on this world. if only our own lives and the people around us. So, yeah, I think it's weird to be home, but it's also healing and nurturing in some way to be grounded to, the amazing community we had here, the amazing Christian community we had here. Just beautiful to see what people have done in our absence and what God has done in their lives as we're on the other side of the world living a completely different life. And then a great reminder to just get some spiritual guidance of who we are and what we set out to do in people's eyes here. Because I think it's easy to lose sight of that. It's easy to feel inadequate or to feel like we're not doing enough or we're not in the right place. But it's so nice to take a look, sort of a bird's eye view of what we're doing and realize, like, yeah, we were given a lot of gifts and we met a lot of amazing people. You know, we've had our curves in the journey already, and I'm sure we'll have so many more to come. But for now, I think it's really time to just start getting to plant things and build things and practice all the theoretical knowledge that we have and really see how that plays out, and hopefully have abundance in that and get to share that with people. And I think that's enough. It's enough for now. I hope more than anything that we can be a good example to people to follow your heart and do what God is telling you to do, or do what your inner self is telling you to do, or whatever that voice inside of you is saying, I wish I would have done that. I wish I could do that. You can do that. You can. It's just a choice. So, yeah. We appreciate all the support that has come so far in our journey, and we hope you guys will continue to support us and continue to just develop relationship with us and do a virtual life with us in some way, because that's one of the unique abilities we have in this modern time.
Thank you guys for watching and just even having an interest in our life and our journey. I think I'm always really pleasantly surprised whenever I hear that somebody watched one of our videos, because I really don't have any expectation that anyone is going to watch the videos that we make. So it's always nice and surprising to hear that somebody watched a video or enjoyed it. And like Bren said, I hope it brings some inspiration or encouragement. And I think, we just want to kind of lean into, sharing things and sharing ourselves in a way that brings that just inspiration and encouragement and perspective into our lives and what we're doing, so that people feel like maybe they can take a bit of a leap of faith into maybe what they're drawn to or what they're called to, even if it's scary or intimidating or new, because that's really what we have done in the past, like 6 months or so, is really just like jumping both feet into, what we felt called to do, and we don't even fully know what that is. So I think, we're just really grateful for the journey, grateful for people that are supporting us and, even just following along and are interested in what we're doing.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Let us know in the comments genuinely what you think about us sharing a little bit more about ourselves, about being a bit more authentic on this channel, and ultimately, where do you think the world's going? And do you think that what we're doing is a step in the right direction? And we'll see you guys in the next video.